Hi, so my name is Mike Saucedo. I'm from a small town called Fairfield in California. It's located near Napa Valley. I grew up there. I attended public schools from K through 12 before I enlisted into the United States Marine Corps. And I was on active duty for 4 years before I left and decided to go back to school. And this semester I'll be graduating from UC Berkeley with a degree in business and a degree in social welfare. I would say that I've probably been Forrest Gumping my way through life so far. Specifically that I've just gotten pretty lucky to meet the right people and have the right influences to know what direction to go in. And so, for me, it's like to say that there wasn't a lot of luck involved is hard because I feel like it implies a lot of things that just aren't true. Like, for example, I feel like it might imply that, oh, I worked harder than anyone else from my community or other people's communities to get to college and then to get to internships at big companies. And it's like, I feel like people in those communities and in my community are always working hard. They've always worked hard and they're still working hard now, but they're not getting that same chance. And so for me, it's like, well, what are they missing, right? Because they're not represented in popular culture, in the workplace, or in university. So what's missing? And I don't really know specifically. The only thing I can say is that a lot of people probably don't have. For example, like I didn't have money to hire tutors growing up for like the SATs or things like that, or the free time to do fancy high school activities, or even the chance to like not work a lot like during my off time in high school. And I feel like all of those factors added up for me, at least, and it was like a big challenge. And for other people, there could be a lot of other things that are still challenging for them. And so like, one other thing that I could think of is probably that people might assume that, oh, well, you're here because you chose to be here, and people who didn't choose to be here. And I feel like that's not true because there's such a huge gap in information that I feel it's impossible for a lot of people to even know what they don't know. So like I didn't know about a lot of careers like consulting or investment banking before I got to college. And that wasn't even in like doing those kinds of jobs wasn't even in my original plan. Like I always thought I was gonna do something else, like go back into the military and be an officer or something like that. And then when I got here to college, it was like, oh, there's all these other careers out there that you can do, and like I had no idea. And so I feel like that extends to a lot of other things in life, whether it's applying to school or anything else. There definitely is this huge gap in information between different communities. And so that's a big part of the reason why I'm still like trying to break into certain industries so that I can find out what information I'm missing and then help disperse that to other people that I know, other people from my community, and just help expand some of those opportunities to more people. So I think the biggest challenge is just having this weight on your shoulder that if you fail, then the next person or the next 10 won't get their shot. So for me, there's this sense that I have to keep climbing while also like pulling the person underneath me with me, because you can't break that ceiling that exists alone. It takes like a whole community. And so like for me, that's always something that I have to remind myself of, because it's something I feel is very real. And it's like when you're doing that, sometimes you make waves and sometimes you're gonna slip and stumble, and I feel like that's a part of the reason why some people don't want to do that. But then and I can admit that I've stumbled as well, like multiple times already, trying to be a good role model and just help expand those opportunities to other people. But I mean, it's a good reminder when you do stumble that these things aren't going to change by themselves or be handed out freely, because if they were, then they'd be done already. And so for me, it's something that I have to be prepared for, and I think other people who are passionate about similar things should be prepared for as well. Just being prepared for a little pushback. So yeah, sometimes I think it's hard to tell though, just because what you see on the surface like may not actually reflect somebody's background. So for example, like you wouldn't really know somebody's background in terms of like, are they a first generation college student? Are they a low income student? What kind of background are they from? You wouldn't know that unless you actually talk with people and have conversations with people. And unfortunately, like you can't always talk with everybody that you work with, people that you just run into in the hallways or anything like that. But I will say, just from conversations that I do have with people, I would say it's probably pretty rare, I think, to run into people who are like exactly the same as me or even just a little bit similar. But I think probably everybody suffers with that kind of challenge too. Yeah, so in the short term, I definitely want to break into the industries that I want to break into myself and just get a good foothold and understanding for what it means to be successful, and then hopefully pass that information on to others. And then in the long term, I definitely want to get more directly involved with like diversity and inclusion efforts, because I feel like the only way people are going to be able to change their lives is for the people from those backgrounds to take control of that themselves and just change the future themselves. And so I want to be a part of that change myself as well.